all-new edition of CMSTV, Christian Media Spotlight, is on the air. Thank you so much for being with us. Joe Neal, your host, as always, here with you. We have a relative newcomer to Christian music here. She has her latest album, Reason and Rhyme. Please welcome, via Skype, joining us for our show today, Abigail Sloane. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, talk about your new album, Reason and Rhyme. You've mentioned on your bio that you've battled depression for a little bit now, and so you like to use your music as a way to show people that there is a greater hope, that there are better days that lie ahead. Tell us about your vision for your music and about your new album.
Well, originally when I started writing these songs, 3 of them are my own, and I've written since I was young. So Reason and Rhyme was actually the first one that I professionally wrote. And as far as it pertains to, what I struggled with, I think Reason and Rhyme was the ultimate catalyst for me kind of kicking depression to the side. Reason and Rhyme came from a place where I was like, Lord, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why you have me here. What's the purpose? And his response was the end of the song. It was, get ready because something is coming that's going to be so much bigger than what you're facing. And what you have faced is about to prepare you for, the rest of your life and what you're going to experience down the road. And the rest of the album kind of came, from then on. I think Who Am I wrote, goodness, just last year. Who Am I was my newest one. And that was kind of my identity revelation, I like to call it, instead of an identity crisis, an identity revelation where, who am I? What would I be without the Lord and what we've been through and what I've faced? So this whole album is actually kind of just from the things I've battled and faced and overcome.
Now, you had a pretty influential influence producing your album as well. He's produced the likes of Matt Carney and Blake Shelton and, a host of others. What was it like having that particular influence on your debut album? And not only that, but what lessons did you learn about along the way about how this whole producing album process works?
Well, for starters, this was my very, very first experience to any of this. I remember trying to record my demo, and I was like, oh, we can do this in a day. No, like, that's not how that works. And it was pretty funny, because when I originally started talking to Eric Copeland, who is the producer on the album, it was a whirlwind, to say the least, because I remember getting the phone call from him, and he said, all right, next step is you come out to Nashville, we record this thing for real. And I was like, whoa, okay, sure. But that was over, the course of months. Like, I went down and recorded, and then we didn't even release the project till September. And so it was just this process of kind of waiting and seeing and putting things out a little bit. And so, this has been an incredible experience and a very, very strong learning curve for me. And patience, I think that's the biggest. Patience, this has taught me a lot about patience, because I get so excited. I'm like, okay, I want to share it with everybody now. And, months later, I'm like, okay, here it is. Here's my baby.
Now, our show is based out of the Northwest. That's where our home base is. Where are you particularly based out of? And what age did you first feel like you were called to music and realize that this is indeed what you wanted to do?
Well, currently, I am on Vashon Island. It's just in between Seattle and Tacoma.
What?
Yeah, I'm up here. Hi.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No kidding.
But that's currently where I'm based out of right now. But yeah, when I first started singing, I was a very young age when I started singing. I remember, well, I don't remember, but I was humming before I could actually speak. And so music was always a thing for me. And when I realized that singing was something I wanted to do for the rest of my life, I was probably, I want to say 8 years old, but I didn't know what that looked like. I had no idea what that looked like. And so it was just kind of taking every opportunity I had to sing. I remember in high school, I was leading a worship team, and then I remember going to college and doing some open mics there. And it never really was like a career thing until March when I went to Nashville and recorded. So Yeah, so this is exciting. I'm very excited to pursue this for the long term.
We are based an hour or two south of you here in Olympia, just south of Tacoma. So I had no idea you were up here currently. Zero whatsoever when I do these things. That's crazy. How long have you been up here now then?
Huh?
How long have you been up here now then?
Well, I've been here my entire life. I've been here 23 years. I've definitely hopped from different places. I've lived a bunch of different places, but yeah, this is where I've been my entire life.
Well, it's always great to talk to a fellow Northwesterner, and I had no idea on the program. Abigail Sloane is with us here on Christian Media Spotlight. As it turns out, that's going to totally change the course of this next segment. It's a Northwest rendition of our Fun Fast Facts segment. A chance we get to find out a little bit more about your favorite personalities in Christian media. And since we have now found out she's based near where we are, it's going to change the questions up a little bit.
Yes.
Question number 1. Here we go. Where is your favorite Northwest hangout that either viewers catching us on television or, online, if they're here in the Northwest, where in the world must they go while they're here?
Where in the world must you go? Okay, so recently I discovered this little jazz club in Seattle called Jazz Alley. I'm a big jazz fan, so that's easily one of my new favorite places to go. But I'm also a huge geek, and so Golden Age Collectibles in Pike's Place is one of my most favorite places to go. It's just a big comic book store, and it's amazing. That and, oh gosh, there's a bunch of little tea shops I like. Tacoma, I used to live in Tacoma for a while, and so I got to know Tacoma pretty well. Gosh, there's a little place down on Ruston Way now that's called the Jewel Box Cafe, and they do crepes and coffee and all sorts of things like that. So if you're ever around Tacoma, you need to go to the Jewel Box Cafe, 100%. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I'd have to really, really think about that for a hot second.
Oh, darn, that's good stuff. Good start. Yeah, Jazz Alley is very, very popular. Some of the top names in jazz perform there a lot.
I love it. I just went for the first time, and I was like, what? Where has this been all my life?
Yeah, there used to be a jazz radio station here in Seattle a number of years ago, and every jazz name that you could think of, that's where they performed, is Jazz Alley, and so it's crazy.
That was awesome.
If we were to pair into your iPod or CD player, however you listen to music nowadays, there's so many ways you can. What might we find you listening to these days on there?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so recently there's this playlist on Spotify called the Essential Rap Pack, and I've been listening to that almost every day for like a week straight. Anything Dean Martin. I have a record player sitting literally just to the right of me, and I have the Rap Pack Live at the Sands on vinyl, so I've been listening to that. Goodness.
Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., all those guys, huh?
Yes, sir. It's good. But other than that, I mean, it ranges really from anything from like the 1920s to like the late 1980s. I'm a big Def Leppard, Van Halen fan. The first song I ever learned harmony to was Love Walks In, Sammy Hagar, Van Halen. So, yeah.
Very eclectic musically. I like it.
I'm telling you, it's Dean Martin, Sammy Hagar, Stephen Curtis Chapman. I mean, literally, it's the most random collection of music, I gotta tell you.
It runs the gamut, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Where's your favorite, one of your favorite spots you've had a chance to perform thus far? Is there one of your favorites?
Yeah, Carnegie Hall, 2009.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No kidding.
So my choir in high school was invited to sing at Carnegie Hall in 2009. I actually auditioned for a solo for that performance. I didn't get it, but I did audition for it, and that's, the important part. But yeah, Carnegie Hall 2009 has to be one of my absolute favorite places I've ever performed.
If you're in and around New York, that's on a lot of people's bucket list, is to perform on a famous concert venue like that, Carnegie Hall. That's crazy.
I remember walking out onto the stage, and I was like, for just rehearsal, and I was like, what? Am I actually here? Can somebody pinch me, please? Because this can't be real.
When you're at home in the Northwest, is there a favorite television program you like to binge watch in your spare time?
Well, I just finished the second season of Stranger Things, but that's probably the last thing I binged. I think that took me like a good solid day and a half, but that's because I slept, so. But I think that's the latest I've binged. Definitely New Girl with Zooey Deschanel is one of my favorites.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's mostly Netflix. I'm not a big live television watcher unless it's The Walking Dead. I've been watching The Walking Dead, keeping up on season 8, so.
I have not finished season 2 of Stranger Things yet, so no spoilers here.
Don't give me any. It's really good, though, so you gotta...
Okay, it is good all the way to the end. Okay.
Yeah.
They talked about, I think, going either 4 or 5 seasons, the creators talked about, before wrapping it up. So I think there is a couple more on its way from the sound of it.
I'll take it. I'll absolutely take that. Millie Bobby Brown is probably one of my favorite people right now, so.
Although if they keep releasing it every Halloween, we're going to be waiting a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Hopefully they don't go that far.
They just make us wait. That's what they're building anticipation.
Yes, and I heard there was kind of a cliffhanger to a degree of sorts at the end of season 2.
It's a little bit of a confusing one, though. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Yeah.
Good thing there's another season so they can wrap up those loose ends.
Right?
All right, so favorite person in the Bible that you find yourself most closely relating to at times?
Oh, no. Okay, so I wish it was something like Queen Esther or King David or some, awesome. I find myself always relating to Peter. Always. And I feel like that's a good and a bad thing because Peter was so gung-ho, but he also missed a lot. And I feel like I do that quite often where I'm like, okay, I'm so ready. I'm so on board with this, Lord. But I'm jumping the gun. And I feel like Peter jumped the gun a lot on certain things. But he was so passionate and he was so in love with the Lord. And that's honestly what I want to be remembered as. Somebody that, sure, made a couple mistakes along the way, but ultimately was head over heels in love with Jesus and dedicated his entire life and whatever he did for the rest of his life to Jesus. And I honestly, he's one of the more real characters to me in the Bible. So I'll take it. If I can relate to Peter, I can relate to Peter. And he was, super close to Jesus. I mean, who wouldn't want to be Peter at some point?
That is awesome. I think, especially in these days, we all need a heart like that. I think we all need to be reminded of that at times. What this world throws at us, there is a greater hope. And if we could just keep our hearts in line, in tune with what he wants, it's...
Exactly.
Also, since we are in the Northwest area, you mentioned cafes a little bit ago, coffee capital of the world. Are you a Starbucks, a Tully's person, or an independent coffee person?
Oh, goodness sakes. I am mostly an independent coffee person. I typically get my coffee from Black Rifle Coffee Company. They're pretty fantastic. If you ever want to buy some coffee from them, I highly recommend it. But it's really strong coffee. And I like my coffee, I just drink it straight black, nothing in it. So it's really good if you like really black coffee. So
I'll take it. But
yeah, I am definitely an independent coffee drinker. That's nothing bad against Starbucks. I enjoy, a pumpkin spice latte just as much as the next Northwest girl. But
there you go.
I definitely do enjoy straight black coffee from Black Rifle Company.
And the Christmas blend is out too. As we're taping this, Christmas is out now.
New flavors and stuff now that I haven't tried. There's like the maple pecan or something like that. I was like, oh, that actually sounds really good.
And the chestnut praline is back too.
Yeah, I might have to get over there and try it.
I like my coffee particularly strong too because otherwise it's just flavored water and
it's very true.
Can't have that.
Yeah, or it gets a little heavy in the milk department, and I just can't do that either. I'm like, ooh, no thanks.
No. Yeah,
would you like a little coffee with your creamer?
Exactly. Yeah, we have a little coffee place. Some of the independent shops serve Batdorf and Bronson. It's a big roaster down here in Olympia, and they do nice, strong coffee the way I like it, too.
Yep, that's awesome.
And a lot of the independent ones, they do Americanos, just right. I mean, nice and strong. Some of the other ones, they don't make it strong enough. But some of the smaller ones, they make it nice and good.
Very, very good.
There we go. It's a fun, fast facts segment, a chance for you to get to find out a little more about your favorite personalities in Christian media here on an all-new CMSTV. We are here with Abigail Sloane, Northwesterner, unbeknownst to all of us when we started this thing today. What's up next down the road for you as we get further into the winter season, the new year? You've got the new album out. What's up next for you? What projects are you going to be working on as we turn the corner into another new year?
Well, so far, I actually get to go back down to Nashville this week. We're going to be looking to shoot a music video that'll be coming out soon. I have a little teaser of a video we filmed just recently that I'll be releasing on Instagram and Facebook and all sorts of things later on today, actually.
Nice.
And then, yeah, so far, we're not really 100% sure. I think we're talking about a single in the new year. We're trying to skip over the Christmas music phase for just a little bit, but
yeah,
I think that's what we have in the works so far for the next couple months out. As far as that goes, I'm one of those people that likes to know when and how many steps ahead and, all this stuff. And that's just, this is one of those things where I got to be on my feet, and I'm just, it's so new to me. I'm just like, okay, well, let me know.
Did you have the whole 5-year plan growing up?
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is where I'm going to school. This is where I'm doing this, all this stuff. And I mean, it just, honestly, it proves that the Lord has a sense of humor, that all of that changed. Like my junior year of high school, I was like, okay, thank you.
If you could speak on that for just a second, because a lot of people, I know Scripture says many are the plans of man. I get it. I know. A lot of people who are pretty organized just find sometimes just life turns just plans up on their ear. And what have you learned along the way just about just trusting the Lord in the whole process, just from the unexpected twists and turns to maybe things not working out quite how you thought they were going to? What's just that all been like?
Well, I feel like if I were to write a biography of myself, it would be entitled Impatiently Trusting the Lord, because for my entire life, that's what the Lord has been working on me with. It's gone from one thing to the next. I remember in high school, I needed to figure out where I was going to college, and then I figured out where I was going to college, and then the Lord changed that, and he was like, but you got to trust me because we're like going to this great, awesome place, and you'll thrive there, and you'll make, new friends there. And I was like, okay, sounds good. Then we got there and turned out to be awesome. And then he said, I want you to go live in Israel for 3 months. And I was like, what are you talking about? And it's just been this process of like every single time the Lord throws this new adventure in front of me, like I have to choose, like, am I going to take this road? And track record shows that the Lord knows better than I do. So yeah, but it's been a process. I got to tell you, it has been a long process of trying to figure it out. And I assume that there will be many more opportunities to trust the Lord on random crazy adventures. And I got to tell you, I'm excited / nervous for it, because he always somehow surprises me in the craziest of ways. So
yeah, he knows better than us all. And now that we've gone there, another thing on a lot of people's bucket lists, I heard just now, the Holy Land, Israel. What in the world was that like? Was it everything that you thought it was going to be when you went there?
So ultimately, I was trying to apply to go to one of our abroad campuses in Ireland, and I didn't go to that meeting. I missed it. I skipped it. But I went to the one for Israel instead, and I said, well, I've always kind of wanted to see Israel. That'd be kind of fun. And I remember the lady that was heading up the meeting said it'll be this much for the deposit. And I walked up to her after the meeting, and I said, I have the money. Can I get it to you tomorrow? And she said, sure. And then I walked out and realized, I can't believe I said that, because I don't know if I have the money. I don't know, all this stuff. And it was such a God thing. It was one of the most amazing 3 months of my entire life. I describe it as this. I say it was open heart surgery, but without the anesthetic. The Lord and I went through so much growth and so much, I don't even know, he revealed himself in so many crazy new ways over there. I left most of my heart in Israel. I miss it every day of my life. I'm like, okay, when are we going back? All right, Lord, like, let me know when we're going back to Israel. There were so many nights where I just stayed awake and listened to Jerusalem, and the Lord spoke to me and said, I want you to give me these dreams, and I want to give you new ones. And I think being where Jesus walked made that all so much more real to me. it was intense. It was an intense 3 months, to say the least.
I bet you it flew pretty quick too.
Yeah, it did. I remember getting there, and then I remember leaving, and I was like, wait a second.
It's always those good times. You're like, man, if only our other times in our life flew as quick as this. It's just...
Seriously, if only, my day at work went as fast as my 3 months in Israel. Like, come on.
Exactly. We get our 15-minute break. We're like, why didn't the rest of my day go like this?
Right?
Abigail Sloane is with us on an all-new edition of CMSTV Christian Media Spotlight. If there's somebody watching this right now who needs a little hope, who needs a little inspiration, who is listening to your music for the first time, what piece of inspiration, what nugget of advice could you give them just about their own personal relationship, their own personal walk with the Lord? How do you want to encourage them at this moment if given a chance?
Don't hesitate. Every single time that the Lord asks you to do something or reveals himself to you or opens a door to grow closer with him, don't hesitate. I hesitated a lot in my relationship with the Lord, and it held me back from so much intimacy with him. And if I had known, when I was a freshman in high school, what I know now, or believed then, what I believe now, I think I would have figured it out sooner than now. But honestly, any chance you get to grow deeper with the Lord, grow deeper with him. Absolutely go as deep as you can, because there's no harm and there's no fear in going deeper with the Lord. And I know that there are times when the darkness feels absolutely overwhelming and when it almost takes your breath away. But in those times, you got to reach out to the Lord, because he is always there, holding out his arms, ready to just have you collapse into him. And honestly, that's what I did for a long time, was just fall at the feet of Jesus, because that's all I could do. That's all I could physically bring myself to do sometimes to get through most days, was just fall at the feet of Jesus. And he understands, and he wants to minister to you, and he wants to heal you, and he wants to love you. And you just got to be willing to open up to that. It's difficult, because so many times our view of relationship is based on what we see in this broken world. And that's not Jesus at all. Jesus is like, I love you unconditionally, and I accept you for everything that you are, and I want to grow in this relationship with you. And we just honestly, I think we stop ourselves just based on fear and based on, what we see physically around us. But seriously, no hesitation. Just fall into Jesus. Dive in deep.
If only people realize and keep it on the forefront of their hearts the scripture where he says, we have not been given a spirit of fear, but we have been given a sound mind. Exactly. I think fear stops us so many times dead in our tracks from living up to our full potential of what he's called us to do so many times. And if only people realize a lot of what we go through requires us to step out of our comfort zone. But if we step out not in fear, we will be ultimately blessed in the end. And so that's definitely very wise wisdom.
Thank you.
There's a lot to that, because that's, I think, a lot of, in this day and age, what people battle is just fear, getting caught up in their own mind, getting caught up in their own circumstances, and really just not enabling them to move forward as they're called to do. And if people just realized and hung on to just a greater hope that where we are weak, he is strong, that a lot of times means the world in a lot of what we're going through. So.
Yep.
You mentioned Instagram, you mentioned Facebook here a moment ago. If viewers want to catch up with you, find out what you're going to be up to with this new album and beyond, let our viewers know where they might be able to find you and connect up with you.
So I'm on Facebook and Instagram under Abigail Sloane Music. I also have a website, abigailsloanemusic.com. And I find that people are getting hung up on the Sloane, and that's okay. It's with an E. So it's Sloane, kind of like Anne Shirley, Anne with an E. But yeah, Abigail Sloane Music on just about every social media site I'm on right now. I'm also trying to get my Twitter going. So I am on Twitter, but I'm just not exactly totally able to do that quite yet, because I haven't figured it out. I'm a little slow when it comes to social media stuff, so just bear with me a little bit.
And see, that's what I liked about my old phone, because it posted simultaneously to Facebook and Twitter, and some of the new ones just don't do that. And
Yeah.
I find
I think I'm slowly figuring that out.
I find Facebook sometimes is enough for me in my busy
Yeah.
schedule. So sometimes keeping up with the Twitter feeds as well as, yeah.
Yep.
Totally get it there. Abigail Sloane is with us. Let us close as we sometimes do in a moment of prayer. Heavenly Father, I thank you for bringing this great voice to the Northwest, and let her light shine throughout the Northwest and beyond with her newest album, and just continue to bring her great personal and professional success. And we thank you that she continued to light the hearts of many people ablaze for you. And we thank you and we praise you for everything that you're doing, everything you have done, everything you're about to do in Abigail's life. And we just thank you for her heart and for her transparency and for her willing heart to be the hands and feet wherever you have called her to be. And we thank you in Jesus' mighty name for everything you're doing. Amen and amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you for joining us, Abigail. We appreciate it. We invite people to go to all the handles at Abigail Sloane Music on Twitter soon, Instagram, on Facebook, and on the website to find out more about her album, where to get it, Reason and Rhyme, and also find out where she might be appearing, maybe in the Northwest as well, who knows, in the future, at a city near you. All the best to you, and including your trip out to Nashville. Just enjoy your time and just enjoy this musical journey. I'm sure you're going to have a blast with it. So thank you for taking the time to share your heart with our viewers here this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you.
Abigail Sloane Music is all new on an all-new CMSTV. We'll preview our next edition of our show and a lot more when we come back on an all-new CMSTV. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
It's here, the world's first Christian music streaming service, Praiser, bringing you 80 channels of the best music 24/7, with 20 more channels on the way. With Praiser, you can listen to your favorite Christian music from whatever genre you choose. It's so easy. Pop, rock, country, gospel, hymns, Southern gospel, worship and praise. But wait, that's not all. You'll be captivated by inspirational, reggae, Celtic, Latino, blues, jazz, orchestra, instrumental, and so much more. There's even a channel for the kids. Need to set the perfect ambiance for your home, office, Bible study, or even your next workout? Then Praiser. No subscription required and no advertising. Just plenty of great Christian music all day long. Download the app now. It's free. Praiser. That's P-R-A-Z-O-R.
Special thanks to our guest joining us via Skype, Abigail Sloane. If you'd like to find out more about her or her music, visit her at abigailsloanemusic.com and find out what she's up to next. Please join us on our next edition of CMS TV, where it will be the month of December when we air it, and it'll mean Christmas time. That's right, it's time for our Christmas edition of CMS TV, where we have some very special guests that you won't want to miss. So tune in next time for an all-new Christian Media Spotlight. For now, that's all the time we have. We'll see you back here next time for more stories and testimonies from your favorite personalities in Christian entertainment right here on Christian Media Spotlight. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Joe Neal. We will see you back here next time. God bless everybody. Take good care.